The government wants its cut of your vaping pens and products. Treasury is proposing an excise tax similar to what is found on tobacco, fuel, sugary drinks and electronics. Unsurprisingly, the industry is said to not be too happy about this, neither about long-stalled legislation that would treat vaping and tobacco products the same. Joan van Dyk of Bhekisisa writes that the vaping industry has been up to tobacco's old tricks like marketing to young people and getting medical professionals to endorse vaping. Let's speak to Joan now. Joan, thank you so much for your time. So why is it that the vaping industry believes it should be exempt from these excise taxes?
Yes, so the argument is that, and it's kind of an interesting development in tobacco control. Because in the old days it was, the tobacco companies and the government on the other side and public health on the other side. Now we're seeing a kind of argument forming in the middle of those two. And they're arguing that because their products can help to get people to actually stop smoking, they shouldn't be taxed just yet, prematurely, because they say if usually excise taxes result in a bit of a higher price tag for the consumer. And in the past with tobacco, we've seen that has affected how many people actually smoke. So they're saying, we're going to be pricing out people who really need those things, vapor products, heated tobacco products, to stop smoking. But that is obviously that's quite a contested view. The old school public health lobby doesn't believe that this is a good enough reason. But it's kind of it's a very murky third lobby that has emerged with vapor products.
So essentially they're saying their products don't carry as much harm as traditional tobacco products. But just how close are we to knowing the real effects of vaping and tobacco heating products?
So I think there are two different things to consider. There's one, is it safer? And two, does it help people to stop smoking? Those are the two kind of things that we're looking at. There are a few studies that show that it is safer than tobacco smoke, but there are still known irritants to your lungs in all the different, the e-liquid, the alcohol, and there's formaldehyde in some of them. Those are things that irritate your lungs and aren't healthy for you to be ingesting. We also don't know, we don't know the long-term effects on this in your lungs. But certainly there's a big debate about a figure that you might have seen that says that it's 95% safer than smoking. But that is a highly contested figure, and one that comes from Public Health England, since the UK government really, really pushes vapes. They even advertise vapes to stop smoking. So yes, that's what the vaping industry is referring to.
Realistically, Joan, how far are we from seeing this tax actually being implemented and from the legislation being implemented that would treat vaping the same as tobacco products?
I'm not quite clear on a timeline. I know it's already been kind of a rocky start. They've had to extend the date for submissions to the 7th of February, which was on Monday. So we haven't seen the new document, the new proposals for that yet. And then with the stalled legislation, we've been waiting for that for 4 years now. I'm not sure when we will see the public hearings for those. But surely we can expect the industry to be gearing up to argue against both of these legislations.
Over the years, we've seen evidence coming out that tobacco companies in the past, as way back as the 50s, did lots of things to cover up studies that showed the harm that their products did. Is there any concern that the vaping industry is doing the same?
Well, this is where it gets slightly murky. From the public health lobby's point of view, they very much, the kind of old school public health lobby, which includes our health department and tobacco control researchers, they see this industry as being part of the tobacco industry, and that's something that can't be separated. They cite studies, for example, that show that big tobacco companies have been designing these vapor products, like reduced harm in quotation marks products, since there was a big reckoning with the industry in the 50s, 60s. So they see it just as that this is another route for the tobacco industries to get people onto nicotine. Then there's the other part of this, where the vaping industry, I think they truly believe that this is an easier way for people to quit smoking. And there is also a little bit of of evidence to back that up, that it does work. It sometimes works better than the known ways like nicotine replacement therapy, those patches that we know. And it's not that all the doctors that are saying use this to stop smoking have bad intentions. So it's certainly a confusing and murky argument that we're seeing.